Hey guys,
Welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles.
we are here, sponsored by Michelob Ultra.
I want to be sponsored by the Brick and Batten.
Yes, we should be sponsored by the Brick and Batten.
Exactly.
You got some ad dollars you can contribute to this
Maybe.
cause?
I might actually.
Yeah?
I love this though to be sponsored by.
Can I do a hashtag Mick Ultra?
Absolutely.
It's guaranteed to give you a headache the next day.
Yes, although Mick Ultra is like water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm told.
But when this first came out,
Mhm.
like I was super excited about it because I was a Michelob light drinker. This was like a long time ago, 20 years ago. And but I tried this and I had the worst hangover the next day.
No.
And so I was like all upset about it, and I stopped drinking it for years.
Right.
But recently I have, because this is a lot of the times the only choice in a restaurant. So
Right. Well, I feel
and
like
I only
we've been
drink light
drinking.
beer, really.
That's same, and we've been drinking every day because of the holidays and just having like stuff events.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I need a break.
You can do a dry January.
I need a dry January.
You know that's a thing.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to do that.
You wrote a story about it today at work.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't drink for the month of January.
I mean, it's not even about being worried to have a problem. It's about like I'm over it. I'm over having to like show up and drink the wine.
And this is like a thing we have to do.
Yeah.
What's funny is like now that I'm single,
Right.
and there's no one else around that like wants to drink wine.
Right.
I don't really drink wine anymore. Like
we drink so much wine.
Not been like my go-to. I'm like I'd much rather just have like a beer.
Yeah. Or nothing. Or water.
Or nothing. Yeah. I mean, and I steer away from the liquor.
Yeah. No, I did. But then my father was here making Bloody Marys for Christmas, and that ended up being a thing. But
yeah.
Anyway,
it happens. Happens to the best of us.
It does. So we have some questions from people that I've kind of compiled.
We've gotten some good questions lately.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go down the list. I said we both answer them.
Yeah.
Don't let this be a one-way street here.
No, or if just if there's some that I don't know that they even really apply to me as much, but let's see. These
still apply to you.
Yeah, they mostly do. Okay.
How many glasses do you have?
I have 1,000 hairs. Okay. So here's a big one right off the top. Do you ever have days, like obviously not a lot, but do you ever have days where you wish you could just like hit rewind and just be like, I should never have fucking done this. I wish I hadn't have done it.
I won't say that I have full days like that.
Okay.
I have moments like that.
What would happen to make that happen?
It's usually when I'm like really upset about some sort of heartbreak that's going on. Like, like this past year has been such shit. Mm-hmm. And I've had so many, I have absolutely had my heart broken farther, harder, whatever, than I have in my entire life.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is this worth it? Like, I did all this to be like, feeling this way and treated this way, whatever.
Right.
So, and to think about what I gave up on like a person that was really solid.
Yeah.
And I could have said to him, we're never having sex ever again. Like, we'll just stay married,
and raise these kids together.
Right. But yeah, I think I would regret it,
How long does that happen? Like, how often would you say?
I mean, it's been a little bit more often like the past few months, but it's never more than like, I'll have that moment.
Okay.
It's a moment.
And it passes.
Yeah. Just because it's hard, you think about like everything that we've been through to get to this point. It has been fucking hard.
It has been.
It is not easy.
No. And I would say one way you're different from me is that you are more trusting with your heart. I mean, there were times in your relationships that I was like my jaw would drop and stuff you would like let happen. Mm-hmm. Like that would have ended for me.
Yeah.
7 months earlier because I'm not. It's not even that I'm not forgetting. It's like if somebody, some of the grievances were like, I couldn't even believe you were still.
I think it's more it's not that you're not forgiving. You are more firm in your boundaries.
I'm so firm in my boundaries. Yeah. And I hope that's what's changed about you.
Well, and yeah, like I definitely feel that way. Like I've changed a lot, and I have, now compared to a year ago, I'm putting up with far less shit.
Yeah. And
I'm okay with being like, we're not going to do this.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to be in this.
No. Here's how I want to be treated. Here's how I expect to be treated. And truly anything less than that isn't happening.
Yeah.
Period.
And the other thing is, it's like I've taken the way that I have felt, like the good ways that I felt in relationships. And I'm like, that's what I want for my future relationship.
100%.
And I don't want the bad parts.
And you're going to have that.
Yeah. So I aspire to feel the ways that I have felt in these relationships.
Yeah.
but to feel it closer to like 90% of the time.
Yeah, you could feel it 100% of the time.
So I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even think of a time now. I'm not, who knows what'll happen, but in my current relationship, there hasn't been one time that I can think of that she has disrespected me or not done what she said she was going to do.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we have little arguments, but there's never been a time where a boundary of mine was crossed.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't give you anxiety.
There's none of that.
Like, yeah.
We have other stuff with blending kids and that, but there's never been a time that I don't.
I mean, that's really awesome.
And I think if you just, but I guess my point is not that it's just that should be the expectation.
Yeah, totally.
Anything less, I mean.
Anything less, yeah. And that's just it. It's like I'm learning little things here and there. I've been with someone who did not give me any anxiety.
Right.
At all.
Right.
And it was amazing.
Right.
And we could literally like have a discussion and no one raised their voice and like, you know, it was really healthy.
Right.
And
you could say what you wanted and
yeah. And it was going to be well received and
right.
communicated and whatever. So it's like there's little aspects of each relationship that I just need to like bring together.
Totally.
So
and that's what dating's for, right?
Exactly.
So you're doing exactly what you should be doing.
So same question. Do you have those days?
I don't anymore. I had them a year ago.
Yeah.
Where I felt like I was really scared about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a long time. I can't even remember when I felt that would wish I could hit a button and go back. Because now I feel like it's so good and it's so my kids are okay. The things I worried about are now okay.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's part of what leads to me thinking like that is my kids. You know, when I think about like I'm annoyed that I have to go back and forth between two places. Right. Like my kids are annoyed too.
Yeah, they have to do it too. My kids do bring that up to me.
Yeah. So it's a hard thing.
Right.
And I guess I probably need to keep that in mind more for myself when I am like,
this is
pack
such
my bag and like do all this. But yeah, it sucks, but it's like one of those things that you just have to suck
Price
up
of
and
admission.
do. Price of admission.
Right.
So
well, what about this was I thought a really interesting question. Somebody asked us about intimacy in our marriage pre-divorce. So here's like you're about to, you're gay, you're thinking about leaving, maybe you've told him, maybe like you haven't.
Well, I think this question was more specifically like you have told your husband you like women, and they still expect you to sleep with them,
but what was it like even if they don't expect you, let's say in those months leading, do you just not have sex or are you doing it? I mean,
you know, for me sex was already hard. It was something that I was absolutely, you know, dreading. And that's the thing, I used to like kind of like pep talk myself. I'm like, it's going to be like 10 to 15 minutes.
Just do
like,
it.
What in the fuck are you so worried about? Like, what is it? But I would still find myself being like, like I'm going to have a few Michelob Ultras.
Right.
But it's like, I needed that. I needed that. And I didn't understand it at the time. Like, like, you know, our stories were a little different in that I had zero idea that I was gay. Right. I just thought that like, oh, like this is hard for everybody.
Yeah. And it is hard. My straight friends will tell you, they're not jumping up and down to have sex with their husbands. None of them. But I know those women are out there, but they're not plentiful. Yeah.
And things did start to like, you know, once I started to really think about that I wanted to be with women before I told him, it was like I found myself thinking about that more when we were intimate. Right.
But could you ever like be thinking about it enough to kind of get through it? Yeah. Like fantasize about the girl and get through it. Okay.
Yeah. And then when I actually did come out, we, you know, because at first I was thinking I was bi. Yeah. Because I was like, I've been with men. I like men. I'm attracted to them. I get along. Actually, I've felt like for a long time, up until recently, that I got along with men better. Right. So that was really hard. And I mean, I was just like, you know, I do love my husband. Of course. So yeah. Like I'm doing this for him. Right. You know,
that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah. Like I want to make him happy. Right. He does all these things for me and our family. Like, you know, I should make him happy. Right. So, but yeah, as time went on, I was feeling more and more uncomfortable. Right. And the last time that he and I were together, he could tell. And I'd come out at that point, and this was one of the few times that we had sex soberly. And he stopped, and he was like, I can tell you're just like not into this. And I was like, yeah.
So sorry, but I'm not.
Yeah. So it's shitty that that's like the last time we will ever be together, and like that's how it ended.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just kind of like gave me the answers. You know,
Right.
it's like he can sense that like
Right.
I'm not in this,
right,
and I don't want this.
Right.
So
It's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah, for him, really, because it's like the truth is staring you in the face.
Yeah. But now, I mean, he's like, I see what you mean. So it's like,
yeah. It was probably good for him to have that experience with you, because now in his new relationship, he can see how it's different.
Yeah.
Kind of to your point.
And it's like, I also, you know, it's coming up on 2 years since we separated. And the last time we were intimate was maybe like 5 days before we separated.
Okay.
So it's coming up on 2 years since I had sex with a man.
Wow.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I don't miss it.
No.
I don't miss it for a fucking
Yeah,
second. Like I haven't, like,
I've never even thought about it.
Desire.
Yeah. Me neither. It hasn't even crossed my mind.
Yeah. Like.
Until you just said that, it's been 2 years.
Yeah. So how about you? What was it like?
I think to your point, like I loved him. So to me, it was like this gift to him. And really, my Catholic upbringing is all about that. Like you do that as part of your service agreement.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They say that in church?
They don't say it in church, but they say it in pre-Cana, which is what you go to before you get married, is basically like...
like marriage, like pre-marriage
counseling in the Catholic... To get married in the Catholic Church, you go to something called pre-Cana, where they talk to you about things like this. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in fact, my
friend...
friend...
They tell you that you have to have sex with your husband?
They don't say it like that, but they say it as part of your duty to like do this. Not just yours, but his.
Wow.
But it's really directed at the women, because that's typically who's... I have a friend who literally, she said...
This is amazing to me.
Their priest said to them something to the effect of, when you can't, or you feel like you can't, roll over and bite the pillow.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not kidding. And she was like, she remembers being in her 20s and being like, this is like
this is so
crazy
talk.
talk.
This is
so
crazy.
This is a real thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I did not grow up like
I grew up
religious
with this. I went to church 3 days a week.
What?
Yes, it's indoctrinated in
Jesus
me.
Christ.
Yes.
My mom literally stopped taking us to like church and Sunday school when I was like 5.
Oh yeah, no, my parents were. We stayed the course. My mom this year, when we showed up at Mass Christmas Eve, my mom started crying. She was like so happy that I was there, that I came.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. Anyway, so I felt like it was more like, of course, I'm going to do this. But I didn't, once I was out, like we knew it was over.
That's a whole other fucking
It's
layer.
a whole other layer.
Like,
it's kind of like...
I felt that way without the religious
Who's the
upbringing.
actor in L Word? Catherine. Menning?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
She's
yeah.
the same thing. Kate Menning. Of like, when you grow up in that Catholic tradition of it all, you don't know anything else. Yeah. It's not just that. Oh, it goes way. There's so many more other things that are like, holy
this
shit.
is amazing.
Okay, so yeah, so that I did it, but then once we knew we were separating, we stopped. Like then it became just like, this is not
But
right.
like, okay, once you knew you were separating, but once you told him that you were gay, did it stop altogether?
No, because I think we both still had hope we would stay together.
Yeah.
And I don't think like the question really was, what was intimacy like? You answered it better than me, because you said it was, you didn't like it, you didn't enjoy it. I felt the exact same way I felt for the entire way I was married. I can do this. It wasn't painful. It wasn't upsetting me. It was more just like, I don't enjoy it. Yeah. I'm not like, I can't wait to do it. It's not like a massage where I'm excited to do it. It's more like, it's fine.
It's so funny to like think back, like, you know, losing your virginity and stuff. It's like everyone made such a big deal about it, and I did, and I was just like, that was
it. Yeah, same.
Like, I felt like it was very uneventful, and I was just like, well, I guess this is a thing that I'm going to do now.
Right.
Like, I was never excited about it.
No. And I think, though, this may be way too much information, but in my marriage, we had a vibrator. So I always would, like, leave the setting, like, I got what I needed.
Yeah.
There was never, like, I
didn't have that.
I had that. What's interesting is now I don't.
That is interesting.
So now it's like...
And now I do.
And now you do. I could, but I feel like we're just, I don't
But
know
you
why
don't have
we don't.
one, period, like at all?
We own one that I bought, but that we have not one time turned on.
Okay.
So, and I think now it's like become a thing where we're like, I almost feel like I don't want to get it because she'll think it's like this crutch of mine of like, if I.
No way. I think you guys need to like up your fucking game
But
here.
we're so, it's good now.
Level up here.
I know. Well, partly is I got so used to the vibrator in my marriage.
I mean, I could see that.
That it's like I wanted to prove to myself that I know myself.
But
I
that's
don't
just
need
it. Like, I don't feel like I'm reliant on that.
That's
all.
you're doing. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change it up.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell her today when she gets home. Why don't you tell her
I'm
when she
gonna
gets
tell her
home?
when she gets here.
Tell her. Okay, what about financially? What have you struggled with, or have you worried, or have you?
I worry about that every day.
You do? Mm-hmm. Okay, I think most people worry about finances every day.
I mean, yeah, I even worried about it when I was still married, but that goes back to like more of my own like personal history with my parents.
Right.
My parents, like, I was raised to be, perfectly stable where we had everything we needed.
Yeah.
There was no like question about it. But then I watched my parents lose everything.
Yeah.
Like
that will do
everything.
Yeah.
So like to see that you can be on top and have all this money and be good, and then it's gone and you're literally living on Social Security.
That's terrifying.
Like, so that's what scares me, and I think about it all the time. But
right.
And I try to be extremely smart with the money that I have.
Yeah, I feel like you have been.
Yeah, like I really try to think about what I'm doing, and but I also am like, I've got to find a way to sustain myself. You know? So
that's what worries me. Is I say this all the time, but I'm not worried about the now. Like I'm comfortable. I'm worried about like my parents have this really great life after retirement. They travel, they can do anything. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've watched my ex-husband's parents who worked this long corporate career where you think he would have been safe. They struggle.
Yeah.
And I worry, like, I don't want to be 65 and I can't go visit my kids and I can't. Right. So I worry about that too.
I mean, my dad's 74 and he still works. Mm-hmm. Like, like I mean, I probably would want to have some form of job at that age. Like, I think it's
keeps
healthy,
you young, and
but I don't want to be working because I have to.
Yeah.
So
I get scared about that.
Yeah.
I think everybody gets scared about money, married or not.
Yeah. I'm like, I should have gotten something better than a journalism degree. But
but I don't even use my degree.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You don't. So you never know.
You could reinvent yourself completely. Yeah. I have a friend right now who's trying to figure out. She has one like career path ending, and she's like, I don't love it. Like I want to like do something totally different.
Yeah.
And I think you can like completely reinvent.
Well, and that's one thing that is like really great about this process is I'm doing things that I would have never done if I was still married. I would have never done this. The
articles,
the articles that I have, like it's allowed me to like really be who I am,
right?
And in other ways, not just my sexuality, but become like the writer that I wanted to be,
right? And
start doing things that are more like entertainment based,
yeah.
Because I let go of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
so
you have to when you're in the throes of a marriage, raising little kids.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
that's the silver lining.
It is.
Okay, so what about...
Did you answer that question?
Well, I just said that, like, I am worried about retirement.
Oh, yeah.
It's been hard, but I think I was so worried that it has not been as hard as I thought it would be.
I thought... you have your own business, which is going really well. I'm, a freelancer, freelance writer, so it's kind of like, what's going to happen? I think that, but I know, I'm telling you, good things are coming. You heard it out there in the universe. It's happening. Good things are happening. Okay, so what about this one? I thought this was an interesting question. Someone asked, and this person who asked this was a little older than us, but she asked, if you never met anyone or never really, like, this lifestyle didn't come totally to fruition, would you still leave? Would you still do it? I would. Okay. Like, and that's kind of like a hard thing to think about. Like, right. What if I never... I mean, I know I will have more serious relationships in my future, but what if nothing ever pans out? What if I never meet a person, And what if there is no, like, for any of us, like, what if there is no such thing really as, like, think of all the people we know who live their whole lives
happily single.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
It happens beautifully.
Yeah.
Like I have lots of friends who are like thriving.
Yeah.
In their friendship squads, or they're just post-divorce, stay single. I know you want to meet someone, and I love the relationship I'm in, so I get it. But if you've had enough experiences, and let's say you keep having these experiences, would that be enough?
I
to
think it
sustain
would
you?
be. Yeah. Like, because I really, what I think about is like, I go back to, you know, it's kind of like that moment that I had where I knew I had to do this.
Yeah.
And I remember laying in my bed at my beautiful home.
Yeah.
And being like, I will regret this for the rest of my life.
Right.
If I don't try this.
Right.
If I don't come out and say who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I finally fucking realized who I am, and I've got to like keep it in.
No way.
It's like, no, I can't.
No.
Like, everything finally made sense. And then it was like, well, no, you got to be quiet about it.
Right.
Like, yeah, I would have lived my entire life with regret. And
Yeah.
that's exactly like Jamie said, you know, the deathbed scenario.
Yeah.
What will you regret?
Right.
I knew 100% I would regret not following through.
Right.
So.
And I think everything gets like, you can't truly, all the areas of your life, whether it's like everything, your family relationships, your friendships, your work, your creativity, everything is stifled when you aren't living authentically.
Yeah.
It's like this toxic secret that you carry around. And the minute you let that go, I'm blown away.
Oh, like,
so many things changed for me.
It seriously. Like,
And
things
that had nothing to do with being a lesbian.
Yeah.
So I do think my conversations with people are better. My friendships are far more meaningful. New friends.
Yeah. I really noticed that before coming out, like when I was at work, I was very closed off.
Yeah.
Like, it had not always been like that.
Right.
But it started to get to where I would just come in, I'd find a desk towards the back and like just do my best to not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's like now I partake in conversations.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to be there.
It's like you woke up.
Yeah.
And that is the other thing she said in therapy that I remembered is she's like, everybody awakens to their life at some point. You hope it's in your 40s or before.
Yeah.
Because if you wait, then it does become harder. You know, if you're awakening in your 70s, not to gay, maybe it's to wanting to try some job, or it's so much harder.
But I feel like our society makes you think that you have to have everything figured out in your 20s.
You don't. 40's
like,
the new 20.
It is.
Yeah.
Totally. And like, that's so like one thing I've like really realized in this is like, just because I didn't do it in my 20s doesn't mean I can't do it now.
Absolutely.
You know?
Right.
There's just so many things that like like we said, like doing the writing and the podcast and
Right.
stuff. It's like I felt like because I didn't do those things in my 20s that like the window had passed. It's
Right.
like the window never fucking passes.
No.
You have the opportunity. Whoa, hello.
Sorry, guys. I think too, like, it's that, and it's like, did you ever feel like when you were married, like, we would host these, like, kind of weekly pizza parties where, like, our neighbors would come over, the kids would eat pizza, we'd order in pizza, drink some beer, and, like, it'd be whatever. I always, like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, like, fulfilling.
Yeah.
But now, like, when you and I have, like, a dinner party, or, like, our mimosas, or we have people over, I am so excited.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm with these people that I love that are like me.
Yes. You know, it's like when we went out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's like I had the best
best time.
Like,
because you're with your people, finally.
I loved having everybody come over to my place.
Yeah.
We walked over, we danced, like, didn't give a rat's ass.
No.
Like, it was so much fun.
Exactly.
And I would have not done that before.
No. And I think even not done that before, it's like we were doing it and I was kind of on autopilot. These families would come over. These are my friends, but they're my friends who don't really know me because I don't even know me. I mean, I'm not even.
Yeah, you're hiding.
Yeah, here's the hors d'oeuvres. This is great. Yeah, great. Okay.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, let's do this again. And then we would, and it would be the same bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like now, it's like our conversations
I don't miss those conversations at all with like the pretentious
There's
people.
no small talk about spring break. I don't give a shit where you went.
We bought the cheapest house in the nicest neighborhood.
Yeah, get out of here.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I don't care either. What I really want to know is how you're feeling and what happened. And so that all happens.
Yeah.
If you're open to it.
Absolutely.
Which I think has been really cool. Okay, the only other question that I have is there any like surprises where you're like, shit, I did not know that was going to happen. And now here I am. I didn't even anticipate that.
Like in my life or in
just
sex?
Coming out and like, can be anything. Coming out like something where you're like, God, I predicted what my money would be. I kind of predicted what, where I was going to live. This like blew, I didn't even think of it.
I can't think of anything that's like totally like blown up.
Okay.
Other than, I guess the relationship things have like been a little bit tougher to navigate than I realized.
What about even like not fully, like I don't think I realized how the kids, like having them all by myself when I do have them is like, I think I anticipated, and I was a stay-at-home mom, so I was already doing it by myself.
Yeah.
But I think not having that person to be like, hey, listen, you got to grab so-and-so, she has supper. Mm-hmm. Now I am fucking on.
Yeah.
And there's no one. I mean, my girlfriend's happy to help, but she has a son.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have a ton of help.
Yeah. I have noticed that I will stay in bed like all day if no one's there to pick me up.
Yeah.
Like,
that's amazing.
I had to like force myself to like go for a walk a few weeks ago.
Because
I'm just
really
been like lazing around, like
I love that.
watching TV. And
my God.
I haven't been outside.
That's amazing.
But like my ex-husband was the one that would be like, let's go do this stuff.
Yeah,
He had stuff planned.
Right.
And for me, I'm just like, like
I would love to be able to sleep.
Like,
I could never sleep that late.
But I'm not sleeping. I'm just kind of like being lazy, like on my phone.
But are you
like
looking around being like, I have 20 things I have to do?
Not if I'm in Midtown and I don't have the kids.
Oh my God, that sounds like bliss. We don't have that situation.
Be envious of me.
Yeah, I am. Trust me. I definitely am.
But then I started to feel really lazy and guilty, and I'm like, I've wasted the day.
No, there's no waste in that. Like, to me, that's like so restful and awesome.
It is.
We did find, we went recently to a hotel to like, because I find if we're here that there's like, well, like this morning, like I'm already like the Christmas stuff is all packed up, like we're busy versus like we made ourselves.
The Christmas stuff is packed up the day after Christmas.
Yeah. Because I can't, like I can't sit here and relax. I see too many things that need to be done. Versus like, so we left and went to a hotel.
It's like the Grinch came through here.
I know, it is. It totally is. The kids were like, are we going to see the elf again? I'm like, nope.
I was fucking gone. Get out of here.
Although we were so lame with our elf this year.
I was solid with my
You
elf.
were solid. I saw. We were like not, I don't know if we were busy. We were busy.
You know what's funny is I don't like to put a lot of effort into the elf, but it was like the ideas just kept coming to me
They
every
were so
night.
good. Sometimes I would like show her and be like, can we do this?
Yeah, I had fun with it this year.
Yeah.
Good, so
That's awesome.
yeah, like that's just it. It's like those little things. Like I feel like just like I'm that much happier that I want to like take extra time on the elf.
If you did, to me, that is a sign of being happy. Like if people are like sitting down.
I mean, I'm literally like laying on the carpet.
Yes.
Out in front of my bedroom, setting up police cars. And
I think that's a very good sign.
My elf sitting on a dinosaur. like, and like laying on the ground to like get the picture.
Yeah, I love it. That's a very good sign when you're feeling
healthy. I would, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be doing that if I wasn't happy and healthy in a good spot. So
no,
I'd be like, fuck this elf.
One more like mention on the meetup that the NWA meetup in Northwest Arkansas. I wanted to mention that again, to look for that meetup if you live in that area, and then also to encourage other people to start meetups where you live. It's so easy. Even if you just start the page now, hopefully in a few weeks you'll have a few people, and that's all you need.
And I think I said before that other Queer Women's Network was in Boston.
Okay.
It was Baltimore. Let's see if I can, and it was worded a little differently. Let's see. It was YQWB in Baltimore. So she just used the acronym.
Okay.
YQWB.
And if you have a meetup you've started, shoot it over to us and we'll post it on our socials.
We'll let people know about it. And I actually asked her to, when she has time, if she can come up with a list of like some other meetups and stuff that she knows of, so we can get those out there.
Right.
So
because that is the equivalent of having a group. And our group we don't go to anymore, but we just recently said we're going to try to continue, at least with a few of us, just meeting up and like we're still going through stuff. I mean, it doesn't end. Your life is going through stuff. Yeah. So to still have a safe group that you can get together with and just talk.
And one thing I've seen people also do on some of these like Facebook groups that I'm on is do like FaceTime meetups.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like
how do you all talk? Like if you're talking, how do I talk?
Don't ask me about the technology part. But I know they've done it.
Right.
And I think that's a great idea.
That is
like
a great
if you're
idea.
in like a rural area and you can't get to some major city to do a meetup, like, do a FaceTime call with a few people. Like schedule something on like a Sunday night and everybody just like kind of share their stuff.
It is just amazing when you say it out loud, you take the power out of it. It happens for me in so many areas of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I even think back when I was little, my mom, I grew up with an alcoholic. She's an amazing woman now, hasn't had a drink in many, many years. But I remember when I first, as like a teenager, said it out loud and how like, it's just like you immediately feel better. You hold all that stuff in, and like that to me was a hard thing I went through, and the more I talked about it, just the easier it got. And I feel like this is definitely true with this. The minute I found group and started opening up about what I was feeling, I felt better.
And it's also okay if you're not ready to take that step.
Yeah,
because I do remember, I went to that therapist, I want to say like 3 times before I finally did group.
Right.
And I remember that day, she was like, it's happening right after your appointment. You're not going anywhere. Just stay. And I was just like, I was so freaking scared. I don't know what I was scared of. I guess it was more of like,
let me tell you something though about when you came to group the first time, a memory I have.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you'll care. But I remember thinking, because you played it off so cool that you were not nervous, because I remember you were on the bench, right?
Yeah.
The first time. So she is like totally chill, like laying back like on the thing. Your feet were like all the way out, just kind of like observing. And I remember thinking like, God, this girl just walks in, like lean back.
I'm like a professional acting like things aren't bothering me.
Oh my God, I'm the worst.
100%. I can act like that.
You acted like you were just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's another Saturday.
I was scared as fuck. I was like,
oh my God.
I don't belong in this room.
And the way you were sitting to me, like laying back like that is so vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're like really like, I don't know, like this
That's
feels
interesting.
safer.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think I remember too, I might have had on heels because I wanted to look extra like femme. I was like, I can't look too gay.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, like the clothing choices and stuff that we make. Like, I was thinking about that recently about wearing dresses. It's like, I like to wear a dress.
Yeah.
I really do, but I've realized that a lot of the time in the past, I've worn them because I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
So.
Or do you ever feel like now you feel like if I'm in a situation where everyone knows I'm gay, but I still want them to think I'm the same old Allie.
Yeah.
Like then I'm like, I've got to put on something a little femme. I feel like I was just getting ready the other day and I said that to my girlfriend. I'm like, this is way too much.
Yeah. That's really interesting because I went to a Christmas party with like my friends from college and I would have normally worn heels to that party.
Yeah.
But I was wearing like kind of like a goofy like Christmas outfit. Right. So I wore my Vans and I was like, God, I would have never worn this a few years ago. Like never.
I know.
But I was just like, whatever.
Right.
We also determined that was the Christmas party of zero fucks, where we just didn't care about anything anyway. Right. So I was like, all right, the Vans are fitting. With it.
Exactly. I love that.
I dropped a bottle of wine in their cul-de-sac.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, glass and all.
Yeah. Well, luckily it was like in a gift bag, so it was contained.
Right.
But it's just like a theme of that party. Every year someone breaks a bottle of wine or wrecks something. Someone else hit a light pole a few years ago outside. Nice. So yeah.
Wow.
Like, we're always fucking shit.
It's that kind of party. Invite me next year.
I did invite you this year.
Oh, was that one?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. All right, my friends.
Yes. Like we said, we really appreciate the Patreon, the little one donation that we got. That's amazing. It helps us with, buying better equipment, and maybe we can even start doing some advertising. I don't know.
Like maybe.
Oh my God. Because everything we've done is just on social
media.
Maybe
we could get out of the kitchen.
We could get out of the kitchen and actually have studios.
We never will get out of the kitchen.
No. Just like when we came out of the closet. The first episode was in the closet, so we've gone.
I would love to go back to that one time.
Yeah, we should set up a camera in there.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
Show them where we were.
Yes,
I love it.
That might be a cool little behind the scenes video.
Yeah, and actually now that closet is like
jam packed.
It's jam packed with shit.
Yeah. So yeah, Patreon. You can give us donations if you feel like doing that, but also I guess more than anything, we want some reviews right now.
Right.
So if you can do that I know Apple Podcasts, you have the ability to do that. I don't know.
And when you do that, it helps to make it so we're easier to find when people Google this type of thing. If you have a lot of share us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.